Sure. Good morning, and thank you for taking time to speak with me today. My name is Shreya, and I'm conducting this interview as a part of a research project for my team at Hult International Business School. Our research focuses on high performance remote global teams, particularly the impact of cultural diversity, communication, and leadership on collaboration and productivity. So, moving on to start, can you briefly introduce yourself and describe your current role?
Hi, my name is Akshita. I'm a clinical psychologist working in a hybrid setup at a hospital under a neuropsychiatrist. My work involves patient assessments, therapy sessions, and collaborating with medical professionals to provide holistic care. Since my role requires both in person consultations and remote work for research, case discussions, and follow ups, I balance both environments.
So, how long have you worked in a remote or hybrid setting?
I've been working in a hybrid setup for a while now, maybe for like 3 to 4 months, integrating both in person and virtual consultations. During the pandemic, though, I gained experience with fully remote work, handling therapy sessions and case discussions online.
So, have you worked in teams with members from different cultural background?
Yes, definitely. I've collaborated with professionals from different cultural, linguistic backgrounds, especially in multidisciplinary hospital teams. Psychiatry and psychology often involve cross cultural sensitivity, so understanding cultural nuances is a must.
What industries or type of roles were involved?
Primarily healthcare, but also academia and research. I've worked with psychiatrists, neurologists, and also social workers, and have been involved in collaborative research that included international contributors as well.
So, how have cultural differences influenced communication within your remote team?
Cultural differences shape how people express emotions, handle confrontation, and approach hierarchy. Some team members are more direct, while others are more reserved. Understanding these nuances helps in avoiding misinterpretations.
Have you ever encountered misunderstanding due to cultural differences in virtual communication?
Uh, Yeah, I did. Particularly in interpreting tone in written messages. What might be considered assertive in one culture could come off as rude in another. I once had a colleague who used very brief messages, which initially seemed dismissive, but later I understood it was just a communication style.
How were they resolved, and what could have been done differently?
Clarifying intent through follow ups help. Instead of assuming, I ask for direct but polite questions. Video calls also help add context to the conversations that might otherwise feel cold over text.
Have you helped? What has helped you build trust and strong working relationship with remote colleagues from different culture?
Consistency and responsiveness, they go a long way. Engaging in small talk before meetings, acknowledging cultural differences, of course, and being open to feedback have helped build rapport.
Do you think building trust remotely is harder than in person? What do you think? Why or why not?
Yes and no. In person interactions allow for body language cues, which make trust building more organic. But in remote work, consistent communication and reliability can compensate for that. Trust is built over time through action, regardless of the medium.
Mhm. So, how do time zones and culture differences impact collaboration in your team?
Time zones sometimes create delays in urgent cases, and cultural differences influence scheduling. Some cultures prioritize work life balance more, while others expect 24/7 availability.
Mhm. So, has your team implemented specific strategy to manage time zone differences effectively?
Yes, of course. We schedule meetings at overlapping hours and use asynchronous communication wherever possible. Clear documentation also helps and ensures that work progresses smoothly without any real time conversations or discussions.
So, have you observed differences in work style, such as approaches to deadline feedbacks across different cultures in your remote team?
Yes, some cultures prefer detailed planning and rigid deadlines, while others work more flexibly. Feedback also varies. Some expect direct, immediate feedback, while others find it uncomfortable.
How has your team adapted to such differences?
By setting clear expectations early on, we outline how feedback will be given, how deadlines should be approached, and create room for both structured and flexible work styles.
So, what practices have helped you and your team stay productive while working remotely with colleagues from different cultures?
Mm, Regular check-ins. We also have clear task delegation, and of course, using shared project management tools like Notion have kept us aligned.
Have you experienced conflicts or misunderstanding in a remote setting due to cultural differences?
Yes. I mean, once a colleague perceived a structured feedback session as a criticism rather than a constructive input, it led to temporary tension.
So, how was the situation handled and what did you learn from that?
I mean, we did have a one-on-one conversation to like clarify intentions. I learned that tone matters just as much as content does, and that prefacing feedback with positive reinforcement does help.
What leadership approaches have worked best for managing culture differences in a remote work environment?
I would say empathy and adaptability. A good leader just acknowledges different work styles. Communications are like communication needs to be delegated quite efficiently, and setting expectations clearly and ensuring that every member feels valued.
Mhm. So, if you could give one piece of advice to someone working in a diverse remote team for the first time, what would it be?
I'd say stay open minded and never assume intent. If something feels off, clarify rather than react.
So, what is something you wish you had earlier about working in a global remote environment?
That cultural sensitivity isn't just about language or customs, it's also about understanding different approaches to work, also time management and communication styles.
So, looking ahead, how do you think remote work will continue to evolve in multicultural teams?
I think remote work will become more hybrid with increased focus on asynchronous collaboration, AI driven translation, and cultural training will also improve cross cultural interactions.
So, thank you so much for your time and valuable insights. Today, your experience will greatly contribute to our research um, on high performance remote global teams. Before we conclude, if is there anything else you would like to share that we haven't covered?
No, nothing as such, but thank you for your uh, interview itself. It was a great time.
Thank you so much.